No, yep, they're off. There you go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Sunday Night Skippy Racing Action. We are trying to get to the action live here as the drivers of Skippy Formula 2 are off and running already. A little bit early tonight, but it's live action from Hockenheim, Germany. It's going to be our first race here at Hockenheim Ring, and I am joined. Let's see, we've got our international crew of extraordinary gentlemen. Peter Lee, how are you doing?
Great. Really looking forward to this. We got a great turnout tonight.
Absolutely. And Joshua Fitz-Johnson joins us once again in the booth. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Well, this morning for me, I'm doing well.
This morning, that's right.
That's
right. Sorry, I got that East Coast U.S. bias. So,
Rapper's off.
Oh, geez.
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we're trying to get our bearings here as we're catching up to the action. We're just going to skip the whole grid and all the normal pomp and circumstance and get right to it. You can see there, Rafa Bofil down now 7 spots to 8th, and I kind of want to go see what happened there. I hate to rub salt in the wound, but looks like maybe a case of the cold tire locking it up just a bit.
Yeah, these guys have got a really hot track, so that would have been. It's been pretty cool all week, so this would be a bit of a change up for the guys.
Gotcha. Yeah, Jake Ashe also off the track there for a hot second. Well, that's going to leave Oliver Hartley out front.
Really a shame for Rafa Bofil. He snagged the pole position and had his teammate Pim Luth right behind him. A really great setup, and so I'm sure he'll be driving mad from here on out.
Well, that's good. Hey, well, talk us through the track here. I'll be honest. I bought the track and never ran it. This will be my first time using it here in iRacing is to spectate this race. So, what's it like? What's the setup? What are the things to watch for?
Take it away, Peter. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, come on. Well, the lead pack here is on the big straight, which is called Parabolica, and it's like 1 kilometer long, and so huge speed and drafting, and then you go all the way down in the hairpin down, all the way down from 5th down to 1st gear, and that's, I think where we'll see the biggest passing opportunities. And then now they're coming into the technical section. So Joshua, why don't you take the technical section of the track?
I think this is a tricky corner. You don't want to run too wide. You hold it in 4th, jump down to 2nd, and you want to just keep it pretty tight so you can get a good exit onto this long one. And Pete, if you wouldn't mind, talk us through the next couple corners.
Well, so now we're coming into, I think this is called the Mobile 1. It's a big left-hander, sweeping left-hander. It's easy to go a little, kind of overcook and go a little off track there. And then you take the Sachs hairpin. And what you want to do here is just set yourself up perfectly on this double apex right-hander because it kind of sets you up for the second longest straight on the track, which is the front pit straight.
Oliver going on the inside there. Jeez.
Yeah, really brave.
That was nice. Good job from Pim as well, from both of them. That was great.
Yep.
That little red sausage curd on the outside of that double right-hand, it can really unsettle the car, I find.
Yes.
Gets a bit of the slippery stuff.
And then here is maybe the most important turn 2. Yep. It's really a slow and fast out here because you're just setting yourself up for the for this super long straight. Like Joshua, when I'm comparing my laps with yours, this is where I lose 2 or 3 or 4 tenths, pretty much.
Yeah, you got to get a really good run coming out of that turn 2. It's a tricky one. I don't know. I still haven't worked out how to do it. Do I take it in 1st gear or 2nd? What have you been doing?
I've been doing it in second. I've been slowing down my entry speed and trying to get earlier on the throttle in second
Yep.
every time. Yeah.
It's a tricky one. Good side-by-side action. Pim, Oliver, no one wants to give up the spot. Oh my god.
Yeah. Here, I like being on the inside where Pim is, but it's scary. Oh, Pim couldn't quite hold it.
That's why it's scary.
Yep.
It looks like an interesting mix of some draft, but also, like you guys were talking about, the technical sections where clearly a lot can be lost if you make a mistake. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a turn where Pim spun, I think on the Discord, the whole league has been talking about that turn. It's called Mercedes. There's been a lot of chatter just about that turn because there's sort of a wide exit, there's a tight exit, lots of discussion about that. I don't know, Joshua, how have you been doing? I've been using the tight exit from that.
Initially, I was running wide, but then you're right. I saw the discourse on Discord, and I realized I'm probably taking it a little wrong. So I'm trying to keep it tight now, braking a little bit earlier, and just trying to get that good exit.
Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely a tricky one. And the off track, they can really get you around here, all the off tracks. There's a lot of them. Kind of reminds me of Spa in a way, that there's so many off tracks.
That's right. Yep. So
Real
I
quick,
saw
I wanna
Pim
give
Luth.
shout out to Phil Eric Hellion, who's back. He was in the hospital, in hospital, as you all say, last time. And I know he was really looking forward to actually doing the broadcast with us at Bathurst. Didn't work out, but I'll tell you what, even better to see him behind the wheel of a Skip Barber car here, and up 8 spots total, having a great battle with Joe Zubovich as they go side by side.
Hang on, can we get a zoom in on Phil's livery there? His paint? What's going on? VB,
Vegemite
he's got a kangaroo on there. I've never seen that. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, on the front.
He does
Let's get the rear.
He's got Victorian bitter beer, but he's also got Foster's on the helmet. It's a little conflicting, but I don't mind it. I'll allow it.
Funny. Good stuff. All right, sorry. Go ahead, fellas. That's just want to say.
I'm sure the Cavalcade network is happy to take the promotional consideration.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody who doesn't seem to have any trouble with the technical bits is Ray Bartnikowski. He's kind of starting to walk away. 0.8, 0.7. I guess, yeah, keep your eye on that gap there. Can't walk away a little bit from Oliver Harley. And the Discord, I do believe they're saying expect 2 pit stops for this race. Is that accurate?
Yep, I think that's what they were saying earlier on.
Gotcha. So
it's not too bad of a pit exit, so no dramas there.
That's good. Yeah, that's always an X factor. Yeah, just the pits themselves. So, no lead is safe for sure, but it looks like he's got some pace at the
Ooh, locks up. Commentator's curse.
every time.
And that's just a killer right there, just for your top end speed on this long straight. You'll see Oliver Hartley now just really close up the gap. Matt Shupka as well.
Looks like they're all taking it easy. Having a little look, but nothing too serious. Just let him know. Hey man, I'm here.
And so that really shows you just how important turn 2 is. Any little bobble like that, because it wasn't much, and Ray held it together. But he basically allowed Oliver and Matthew to get back into his draft.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Rafa's chance to close the gap within a couple laps? I reckon
I was just going to call that out. He was down 7 spots, I believe, at one point after that early spin. He's back in 4th now. And he was a little slower that go-around, that last lap. But, yeah, once again, with 2 pit stops, I don't think any lead is necessarily safe. And we all know Rafa's a insanely fast driver at any rate, so.
Yep.
Well, and Rich Butler is right on his tail. And so Rich is continuing his good speed from last week. And then we have another group. We have Joshua's favorite driver, Phil Ericalian, with Joe Zuba and Rob Chestnut.
Yep, big team feel.
Oh, well, Joe Zubovich, no, this is a bad
I am
team
happy.
record
I'm,
to
ha
show it, though.
I'm happy to see Joe again. Missed him last week. Beautiful to see him out there. He's gone for the earlier pit stop.
So that's lap 6. We're 10 and a half, almost 11 minutes into the 35-minute race. Yeah, I mean, I guess that tracks.
Yeah, I think the window might be, is probably just open, because I think it would be 7 or 8 laps typically when you'd start to see these folks coming in, and so 6 is probably right at the early part of the open window.
Yeah.
And so we see, I think, looks like Oliver Hartley got past Ray Bartnikowski, drafted him down the front straight.
And don't rule out Matt Shupka there. He's been patiently waiting behind these two
Yeah, he's ready.
here.
He's ready to pounce. Absolutely, you're right.
Now, if they're smart, knowing that Rafa Bofil is hunting them down, they could work together for a few laps and, leapfrog, draft sort of the same way that Ray Bartnikowski and Rafa Bofil did last week.
Well, they did not get that memo there because
Nope.
they are
They're fighting.
they're I think they're of the mindset that if Rafa's going to catch him, he's going to catch him, and elbows
Oliver's
out.
going in his pit stop.
Yeah, there you go. Oliver and Bofil both. You can see them there on pit road. So, gonna leave Bartnikowski, Shepka, and Butler. Next driver up would be Phil, Eric Kellyan, and Rob Chestnut, as Charles Webber also goes down.
Yeah, and Charles was in a little battle with Rusty Pontenberg, but decides to go in at least a lap before Rusty for his pit stop.
Charles is in the pit as well.
Matt, I'm pitting in this lap.
Uh-oh. I do not have the driver's audio muted. This could be fun.
Keep it clean, boys. Chris, I was devastated to see your result in the or the crash on your Twitch clip of the Indy 500.
Yeah, I
My
mean, it
heart
was,
goes out to you.
you never want to blame a guy for you running into the back of them, but that was tough. That was a tough pill to swallow. I was not expecting him to slow that drastically in the short shoot there. I just think, looking back on it, he was a lapped car. He was slow. He's already off the pace by lap 10 or whatever. So should have known, but it is what it is. We'll get him next year.
Frustrating. Is it something that can you only do the one race every year, or can you just? I don't know anything about.
They have multiple time slots that you can do.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it is over one weekend.
Yep.
Specifically for the Indy 500, but yeah, for most of the special events, of course. But yeah, the trick is trying to find 3 hours to block out. I had already pretty much cashed in all of my goodwill with the family to be able to race that one. Here comes
you
Ray
get him next
and
year.
Matt.
Yep.
This is good for us as race watchers, because I think these will be the last of the kind of lead pack folks that are pitting, and so this should give us a picture of where everyone's sitting when these guys come out.
Yeah, keep your eyes there on the track map. See if you can see movement on pit road, because here comes Oliver Hartley across the start-finish line.
And Rafa Bofil. Wow, this will be close.
Yep. There you go. Oliver's out ahead.
Yep.
Plus, I always feel that first lap coming out of the pits. It's always a little trickier. You're a little bit out of rhythm, a little bit out of sorts. So I think Oliver might have a bit of an advantage.
Oh yeah, I think we were talking about that last week, Joshua. That's something I need to work on. My outlap after a fueling stop is just consistently awful.
Oh yeah, it's like I've forgotten which way the track goes. It's been a whole 30 seconds.
The thing is, this top group of now really the top group of 6, they are all. It's still anyone's race. They're all pretty close.
Yeah, I think that really kind of closed the gap. I brought up the pit lane times there for the viewers at home, and you can see the top 3 pretty consistently close, but we had Beaufil, Ashe, and Luth both with wicked fast pit stops in relation to them. So I think that's why we see maybe a closing of the gap a little bit among the top drivers, make that top 3 pack a little bit tighter. They're all within one frame with the camera, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
The chatter, while we're talking about the chatter on the league Discord, I thought it was interesting, Joshua, because I think early in the week when everyone was hot lapping, people were just gushing in praise about this track because it is incredibly beautiful and fun to hot lap. And then the early week races, especially the pub races, are so messy, and so people.
It's mayhem, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. and then people start to appreciate it again. I thought it was sort of just interesting to get the mood of the league members on this track. How did you come down on this track?
Well, since I only did my 2 races last night, I enjoyed the first race I did. Very clean race, lots of fun. But then the second race I did, horrible. I was stressed out the whole time. People dive bombing me from 3 cars back. I was just trying to survive, and people were just taking me on the inside. I think maybe they saw I was the car number 19 plated car, so they were just like, "Oh, this guy, get out of my way, rookie." So yeah, I just felt people were just sending it like in the first few laps, and I was like, "Take it easy." I'm getting used to Sunday Night Skippy, where it's very gentlemanly in the first couple of laps.
Yep.
But it's a good track. It races well. I think there's lots of opportunities to pass. That's what I think I like about it. Like, sure, the main opportunity is the drafting on the long straight, but then you can go side by side through the rest of the track, and it's usually pretty exciting coming down to the wire.
Yep. Hey, while we were talking, Rafa Beaufil got past Matt Shupka, and so now is up to 3rd, and seems still to be closing in. He's about 2.5 seconds behind P2.
Yep, those guys can work together. I don't know about you. What's your mentality, Peter? Do you like to just sit behind and enjoy the draft, or do you want to get ahead and switch positions and kind of work together?
Until there's maybe only 10 minutes to go, I definitely am more comfortable in someone's draft, especially if they're fast and just having something to chase.
Yep.
I don't like to take those chances. And in the pub races, I was pretty terrified for the first 2 laps, and so I even took inside line into the hairpin, just to avoid dive bombs taking me out.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I like to just sit in the draft and take it easy. Like, I always saw Jeffrey Decker do that in SF1 races, and I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I just copy everything that man does. So.
Looks like Ray's making a move on Oliver here.
Yep. It's a lot sharper than you think, the hairpin.
Oh, yeah. Takes a long time to get used to how slow that is.
Yep.
It looks like not oddly shaped hairpin. That may be the wrong way of putting it. There's other turns probably like that out there, but it's a weird angle.
Yeah, I agree. Oddly shaped, for sure. How was the USF2K race this week? Was it good?
Oh yeah, I missed it for family reasons this week, but it sounded like it was pretty wild because I think our league members aren't exactly oval specialists. I don't know, Chris. What do you? What was your read on it?
So I was all practiced up and ready to go, and I also too had to bow out at the very last second. But it sounds like the guys who participated were able to learn a lot, and it seemed like a pretty good race. So I'm hopeful. Yeah, like to your point, as people just get more used to it, and they'll just get better and better. It was at New Hampshire Oval, so the track was a little bit wider than USA International, which was our first oval race. I think that probably helped a bit.
Looks like Jake Ashe and Pim Luth are in the pits for their second fueling stop. And
Got a
this,
feeling these.
this Rob Chestnut, Phil Ericalian battle, it's just been relentless the whole race. They've just been trading spots pretty much every other lap.
I don't think it's going to be too long until you see this group of Shepka and Rafa catch up to that lead pack of Harley and Ray. I reckon those 4 cars will be mingling very soon.
Oh, that'll be exciting. You can almost, don't you think, Joshua and Chris, you can almost see the personalities of these drivers, because it does look like Rafa and Shepka are working together maybe a little bit more than the two front runners, Oliver Hartley and Ray Bartnikowski.
Oh yeah, those guys are going at it at the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a conversation we've had. I guess not specific to the Formula 2 guys here, but I think just all of our drivers is that you can see a wide range of mentalities. You have a group of drivers who are out here and they're going to battle every lap, every turn for that position. You got others who are more of the, okay, I'm going to get in a rhythm and maintain position and try to put myself in a position to win at the end. And then others who are even, just kind of like, hey, I'm just here. I'm learning the track. I'm learning racecraft and all that. So, wide range of personalities and mentalities, and sometimes they don't always mesh too well. But it's great when they do.
Yeah, it's great.
Looks like Rusty Pondenberg is just tucked into the pits for his second. Oh, and Phil Ericalian.
Yeah, look at that. All right, so the number of drivers who have yet hit twice is slowly shrinking. It's going to leave basically the top 6 and Rob Chestnut. Oh, and Barry Stockdale.
What do you guys think about Shepka pitting just then, losing the draft from Rafa? Well, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Unless he was really down on fuel, that seems like a massive disadvantage. Unless he understands he's going to pick up another draft partner on the way out.
Yep.
And his hit time was about 3 to 4 seconds less than that of. Let's see. Well, let me compare him to the second. Yeah, no. Rusty Pondenberg also had a fast pit stop in the 9-second range, which is obviously significantly faster than what we saw the last time, which makes sense. I guess we've only got 10 minutes remaining, but or thereabouts.
Wow, this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a lot of different strategies. That is for sure.
So here we have Oliver Hartley and Rafa Bofill in the pits. And so the drama will unfold.
Peter, do you have a strategy going into the race, or do you work it out on the fly, usually?
This has been, I generally don't. I just do what the GRT calculator tells me to do, and I try to push things to the, late part of the fuel window.
Yep.
Try to delay things as much as possible. But this season, I've been having so many, lap 1 and lap 2 incidents that's put me in blue flag hell. And so I actually do strategically time my fuel stops when I'm in that situation just to avoid being served blue flags so much.
Yep.
And so that, Boy, this Pim Luth Jake Ashe battle back, I guess it's the battle for P8. It's been kind of interesting to watch. They are also not exactly working together. They're really battling.
Well, yeah, you're wondering Rafa and Matt. Oh boy, oh, Matt Shepka hard on the brakes there. Look at the hairpin. But he and Rafa found each other once again after their second pit stops.
It worked out.
Top 3 have not pit yet. Or second time, rather.
Yep, raising the pits now. Took a little bit of grass in the entry.
Yeah, they need a curb on the inside of that right-hander.
At least there's no chicane like Bathurst.
Right. Yep, there you go. So that's going to be...
Crucial here.
And Ray is off. There's Oliver Hartley.
Good stop for Ray.
Very quick.
Mm.
So far...
I think something must have happened to Phil Erikalian while we were watching those pit stops. He's lost quite a bit of time. I don't know if that's just the way the pit stops worked out or if he had an incident or a spin.
Seems like a pretty quick pit stop time, so yeah, I'm not sure. Or at least competitive, not a statistical outlier, but... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on my incident log here.
Sure.
Arnikowski out to a 0.7 second lead. Stop me if you've heard that before. For Oliver Hartley, Brett Shepka and Bofil are about 3 seconds back from them. Basically nose to tail. And then another 8 seconds back to Rob Chestnut, who has yet to make his second stop. So that would leave Pim Luth and Jake Ashe, who are also having a nice little battle there.
Yeah, they've been having great fun, those guys.
As leaders come down the front straight, this turn 1 I think is so much fun. It's really
Ray lost.
Ray thinks so too. He's just gonna drift.
Oh, that's another commentator's curse, isn't it? That's a very artful way to do it. Oh my god.
And that has let Matthew Shepka close the gap a little bit.
Well, what I was trying to say is it requires a lot of precision, but it's fast and you can take some chances there because it's a 1x, but you can save the car if you made a little bit of a mistake on the turn-in.
That was interesting. Matt Shepka just looks like he let up.
Yeah, he might have been serving a slowdown penalty there.
As now the battle for 5th, Rob Chestnut having pit. So Pim Luth, Jake Ashe, and actually Rich Butler there to be in the mix for this battle for 5th spot. This is heating up as well with less than 5 minutes remaining in the race.
Yep, wow. Really good battle between Barry Stockdale and Joe Zubovic in... What position is that for?
I believe that's 9th. Joe's in 9th. Oh.
A lot of back and forth happening between those two. Joe Zubovic for Team Elgato Racing. Very cool.
I'm gonna say Joe's car built for style, and Barry's built for speed. It looks like with that shiny. Although, don't rule out the speed of Team Elgato.
Well, it sounds like even Joshua gets his coaching from Jeffrey Decker.
I do. Whenever, if he streams, I'm taking notes. all those faster guys, they used to give me a lot of tips a couple months ago. I've noticed they've started giving me a lot less tips recently. Not getting any secret advice for tracks anymore.
Funny how that works, huh? Well, we're probably going to be taking the white flag here. I think. I don't know. I feel like we still got a ways to go before we get the start finish line. Probably get to 33 minutes by then.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to get more and more desperate here in a minute.
Him taking Mercedes really nicely though. Trying to pull off and check.
Yeah.
That's gonna be close. Probably the white flag. Yep, there you go. You see Barney, the flag man, waving the white flag there. This will be the last lap, everybody's last chance. Basically, battles for 1st, 3rd, and 5th on the line, I would say, for the most part there. Bring up interval.
Much action.
It's funny that the flagman's name is Barney instead of something German like Wolfgang or something.
I mean, we could switch it up. Barney's cousin, Wolfgang.
All right, looks like Ray's got a strong toe here from Oliver and is going to try to make an outside pass here.
Oh, Oliver's going to tuck in.
All the marbles.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh!
Yo, hang on to it.
Good job from those guys.
Yeah.
Could have been nasty.
Oh man, I see this gap coming down here too, Jake and Pim. Can Jake get the runoff?
Ooh. The under.
Such good stuff going on. Let's see. How do you choose? Of course, we got the race for the lead here. The last few set of turns. We haven't even looked at Rafa and Matt's race here.
And they've been nose to tail too.
Right,
everyone
very
else.
good in its own right. Oh man. Let's see if Oliver's got something here in the last turn. got the draft. I don't know where the start finish line is, but it's not looking good.
Yep.
Yep.
Ray takes it. Great finish. Wow.
Yeah.
Nicely done there by all those guys. Here's Pim and Jake coming around the last turn. Man, yeah, that's tough. There's no real way to get a great run off that last corner there, huh?
No.
Very good.
Great runs for Rich and Rich Butler and Charles Weber. And have overcame early challenges and finished well.
I was able to mute the driver audio, which is probably good. No, these guys are probably just congratulating each other on a good race. I think the camaraderie in SF2 is a touch above, and these guys have a lot of respect for each other. So you can see that too in the racing. Good run by all these guys. You wonder.
Yeah, there wasn't a single incident, was there? Really, between two cars?
Not anything that really stuck out. I'm not sure what happened to Barry Stockdale. He and Joe Zubovich were having that good run, but Nick Tullo obviously didn't hear much from him, but good run there. All right, bringing up the results here. Your race winner, Ray Bartnikowski. Was that his first? Did I miss him winning in my week off? The problem with taking,
I think that is his first win.
I think that's his first.
So congratulations to Ray there. And Oliver Hartley, Rafael Bofill with the podium. Rafa coming back from that lap 1 or 2 spin, I think. And Matt Shepka in 4th. Pim Luth's going to be your top 5. Dick Ashe, Rich Butler, Charles Rubber, Joe Zubovich, Rusty Pottenberg, Phil Erikellian, Rob Chestnut, Barry Stockdale, Nick Tullo. And I do not believe Evan Waygood started. But either way, welcome, Evan. So, all right, gents, again, thank you very much for your time, and we will let you go because we know you have get your heads right and get in your cars and do all that. Any takeaways from you from watching this race as you head into race Skippy Formula 1?
Oh, this makes me really excited just to see that kind of racing. I think this is a great track for, it'll accommodate, the 35, 40 plus cars that we're going to get for the SF1 race. And so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wish I was watching, not racing a little bit. But maybe I'll do a strategic Charles Leclerc in qualifying, and I'll crash out and jump in the broadcast.
Secure that pole, and then yeah.
Oh, I don't know about the part.
Awesome. Yeah, well, you guys, of course, always welcome. It's always a joy and a pleasure to have you, and I definitely appreciate the insights. Good luck to you this evening. And I think if this race was any indication, with the 30 plus, maybe even 40 plus that we'll have here coming up next, probably way too much to look at because there already was in this race. But best of luck to you guys. Hopefully we will see you climb that leaderboard, and I guess we'll see you either soon or next week.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Thanks, Peter.
Sounds great. Yeah. Thanks, Joshua. Fun as always.
Always fun to hang out. All right. Good luck, guys.
Good luck. And for all the viewers out there, we're going to take a quick intermission as we always do. I'll throw up the timer once we get the session switched over, give you an idea of when you can tune back in. Grab yourself a beverage, adult if you are so inclined, which is what I'm probably going to be doing. And we'll sit down and watch together the race from Hockenheim Ring here with the Skippy Formula 1 drivers in about probably 15-20 minutes. See you then. Welcome back, race fans. This is the Skip Day Formula 1 race that you're tuning into live. We are coming to you from virtual Hockenheim, Germany, the Hockenheim Ring, and other German words as well. And I'm joined tonight by first-time commentator, I believe, but certainly not the first time in the booth, Mike Bowers. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
Very good. How are you?
Hey, we watched a great race in Skippy Formula 2, so I'm in a very excited mood to see what the Skippy Formula 1 drivers, 38, well, 37. I'm not going to count you because you're going to be in there in the booth with us tonight. I don't know the action, but this track looks like it's going to put on a great show for us and add some great drivers in on top of that. And I think everybody's going to be in for a treat. A nice, cool track, I think, relative to the public races. And otherwise, though, let's take a look at the starting grid here. We're coming down to a minute left in qualifying, with Jeffrey Decker leading the way. Tell me what you expect out of tonight's race, just overall, big picture.
Well, it's going to be interesting. This track, if there is a track you can race and be a little sloppy with your lines and still keep up with people and not get destroyed, it seems to be this one. It's really interesting that there's several corners where you can miss it a little bit and still get through it and not give up a bunch. That being said, there are a few very particular lines where these top dogs in here are going to maybe be able to pull a gap. But the biggest thing we're going to watch all night tonight is the hairpin and a lot of the braking zones. It's super, super easy to have several different braking patterns in these corners and produce a similar exit speed. So that
Hmm.
causes some chaos. So it'll be interesting.
Agreed, my friend. Well, hey, I understand you got to go issue some black flags. Looks like qualifying is over. We will see you in just a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
And for the rest of us, let's take a look at tonight's starting grid. Brought to you by nobody, because we're just doing this for fun. Jeffrey Decker's got your pole tonight with a 157. That's nice and symmetrical right there. Joshua Dancy is going to start on the top row with him. Team Dancy, hopefully in the house tonight to see that. That's really cool. Scott Bell, Jeremy Grandin also got fans tuning in. So wow, yeah, Eric Lamro, Josh Fitz Johnson, Justin Rebello, and Joshua Fitz Johnson will be there on the fourth row. Peter Nodwell, Kyle Reed, Carl Dronke, and Edwin Viorino, both drivers who you'd expect to see just a little further up than that, but obviously a stiff competition tonight. And we'll scroll through the rest of the field. Pick for your favorite driver, Rafael Bofill, who had a great run after an early spin there and skipped Formula 2. Ray Bartnikowski, your race winner from earlier tonight in P24. Oliver Hartley right next to him, so that's going to be another great battle to keep your eyes on, along with Tim Luth. Peter Lee also in the booth with us there. James Flannery, I believe, is a relative newcomer, so welcome to the league, James Flannery.
Yeah, I'm trying to set back black flags, but they are not setting. So give me a minute, guys.
Couple more Skippy Formula 2 drivers there in spots 25 through 35. And finally, Andrew Cole, who did not set a time, will be starting at tail end. Charlie there. Obviously, Mike Bowers joining us in the booth tonight. So that is going to be your starting grid for tonight's race. Should be a good one. Look at the hairpin there. And yeah, we saw the heavy braking zones, the multiple lines through the turns that occur there. And yeah,
Okay, I don't think Jason gave me full admin. I can do the grid, but I cannot do the black flags.
Is there another admin in the race?
Will do. Yeah, it's not giving me the black flag.
All right. Well, while we let
It just says 1 lap.
those guys figure that out, let's just mute Mike for just a second. Let's bring in Chaz Weber, who had a pretty solid finish there in Skippy Formula 2. We got to unmute you so you can talk to us. How was the how's Hockenheim ring? How's the race?
That was better than my last 3 pub races, that's for sure.
Okay, all right, fair. That's good. Is this we were talking about people liking the track, not liking the track. Where do you land on it?
For the skip barber, like I was working with Darren Schernick last night on Sonoma, and I like Hockenheim, but I think for the skippies, the national circuit would be a little better.
Okay. Yeah, I think the when I did buy it, I did notice there was quite a few configurations, and I wasn't sure what the GP would hold, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, usually when you see the larger tracks that seem like good ideas, and of course you see them on TV with F1 and all that, and they look neat, but don't always translate super well to the Skip Barber.
Hockenheim Grand Prix is good for your GT3, your higher horsepower cars, more downforce. I've had more fun with the GT3s on other sims. Skip Barber is just I think that parabolic straight's just a little too long.
Gotcha. Yeah. There's definitely an opportunity to, I mean, and the draft being so effective, obviously, in the Skippy, yeah, lets you maintain contact a little bit easier. I gotta say, so I've been kind of in and out and all that. Was this your first race with us, or you're a relative newcomer, right?
This is this was my second
Okay.
SF2 race, and I did 2 SF1 races. I'm sitting out the big boy show tonight.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's basically you. I think you started up when I was out. So, well, at any rate, since this is my first time chatting with you, welcome to the league, and how are you enjoying your time so far?
Far so good. Like I was telling Darren last night, I'm I'm as green can be. So, just learning and taking baby steps.
Yeah, that's basically exactly why I had originally joined too, and was able to find I don't know, my personal take, and we always kind of you know beat this dead horse, but there seems to be a lot of good people willing to take some time and work with you, and that's certainly what I found. And I oval guy by trade, and got at least improved drastically. I won't say I'm good, but improved drastically across the road skills. So very thankful for a lot of the more experienced drivers in the league.
Or I mean, they were at Coda this week, so that was cool. But there's only so much circle track you can watch till you need to find something else. And I've really taken to the road racing probably since COVID started. So
Absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, yeah, are you planning on joining us in the booth for the rest of the race, or?
that's up to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're welcome to join us and tune in, give us your perspective. Being having participated in that previous session there, when you think about now 37 cars that are going to be gridding up for this race, I mean, outside of the obvious, first lap traffic sorts of things, what sorts of differences would you expect had you run this race versus, a 12 to 14 car grid?
That hairpin's going to be tricky with that many cars coming in. The hairpin, and then the final double right-hander, which pretty much you got to run single file. I mean, you can go too wide, but it's very risky.
Yeah, fair enough. It does seem like a nice wide track, room for a few skippies, but wheel contact is not something that you want to really risk in this particular vehicle. So
No.
So somehow I even messed up the black flag thing.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's never easy. What I always like, when people like Jason go away and enjoy life for a little bit, it's always Jason Bice Appreciation Week,
Well, and on that, he's just a great guy, and he does a great job, and he works his butt off to help us have fun. Here we go.
Speaking of fun, let's watch 38 Skippies come down to turn 1 here.
Taking it well.
I think everybody's giving each other some room. And Mike, welcome Chaz Weber to the chat here. He's going to be joining us from the hot off the Skippy Formula 2 race.
Awesome, Chaz. Cool. I hope you're enjoying the league so far.
Oh, I am. Formula 2 race didn't start off too well for me. I come into the hairpin, was real close to a guy and backed off and got rear-ended. No one's fault but my own for putting myself in that position. Dropped to the back of the pack and then just fought my way up and started P9, finished P8. So I'm happy with that race.
Excellent. Now we're going to see a good one. It's watching the hairpin here. I don't see any chaos. What's up with that?
I know, it's kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. I'm sure they're not thinking that, but...
There you go. The commentator wants actions.
Yeah.
Action. The drivers want peace. Yeah, that's excellent.
It's typically how it goes.
Some brake lock. Uh-oh. Better check. I'm not even going to try these corner names tonight.
Right, yeah. I'm getting indications Sammy Bridges is off. Nelson Addison.
Yeah.
Like they dropped to the back real fast. We'll get a Monaco 2021 for this race.
Hello, Team Bell, checking in. It's like Oliver Hartley's probably... Is that a black flag?
Yeah, we've got a couple serving tonight. I'm checking out Sammy and the incident here.
My opinion, a lot of these guys are probably waiting for their tires to warm up before they start battling.
We're throwing around. Yeah, we do have some good racing going back here. These guys, actually, see, there's Brian Perez, but other than that, Jake Ashe, Matt Shepka, a couple Formula 2 drivers here, mixing it up early.
Well, it looks like Ray got into Nelson and spun him, and then Sammy got collected in that deal. So that was, and it's a typical thing here. The braking zones can be radically different for each driver, and it's shocking how different they are. You know, I ran a really high strength of field race earlier this week, and I couldn't believe how different our braking zones were when we're running identical lap times. So it's really something to be aware of here. And in closing laps, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Well, to the point that we were making earlier, there hasn't been a ton of separation, at least amongst the top I don't know, 15 or so. And then there, even then, just a little bit of a gap, and then pack it back up. So you can see that playing out on the track map as well. You can basically see Decker's dot, and then who's that? I think that might be Chernick, and that's about it.
Yeah, the field's still pretty tight yet. You know, the top 4 guys are trying to put a little space. Uh-oh.
That is the 73 Peter Nodwell, the 888 of Kyle Reed, and they have mated their
Ouch.
cars.
Yeah.
Let's see. Take one more look at that. Your eye on the brake lockup, and then they both go for a bit of a ride.
That happened.
Yeah, and that's that chain effect. It looks like Carl had to check up pretty hard for the car in front of him. He gets checked up, and it just accordions back, and eventually somebody just runs out of time. You do not have the time to stop, and then you end up with a yard sale.
Pretty much what happened to me. I was right on a guy following him into the hairpin. He stopped. I had to stop. The guy behind me couldn't stop in time, and off we went.
That was it.
It's exactly what happened. Is it started with Rabella. He had to check up a little bit. Joshua does a really good job of checking up for him, but then of course Carl's behind him and he gets stacked up. But you're going to see this all night. It's just crazy on this track, and it can happen in several corners.
For sure.
Oh, and we got Pim Luth around. He's going to collect his teammates. It's like Rusty Punberg was involved there. The 24 of Peter Lee. Boy. Not sure, not the night team Jason was looking for there. And same spot. It's the hairpin. Like you guys both called it.
Well, the interesting one to watch later in the race is you're going to see turn 7 does the same thing. And the fast way is actually a fairly early lift and turn in with just a bump of the curb. But you can go in there much deeper and still make the corner. And that corner, when people start racing hard for position, you're going to see that one have some chaos in it too. Just my guess. Of course, I've been wrong about 15 times today, so we'll see.
Well, I got indication here you were talking about Aaron Hernick working with you. What happened there? Said he crashed, but I'm not seeing anything. He's all right.
Hey, we got to make a call out here. And look who's running second.
I know. I was focused on him before I went there. We got Miss Sarah's in the house watching and cheering Mr. Scott Bell on here in second position, and looking pretty dang comfortable.
Looks good. I mean, we got Sinded on the hood there. I strongly recommend he hold that off for a little bit. Run this position out. Make some separation and make this a race. Let's hang with the podium. Maybe we got another first-time winner tonight, and that would be just cool. I love first-time winners.
Yeah.
And he's going for position.
What you touched on with the difference in braking, that hairpin, I see a lot of the fast guys brake a lot later, get slowed down, where guys like me maybe are 50 meters back, and if you got a fast guy behind you, they're not expecting that. So I think that causes some of the incidents.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting corner, that hairpin is, because like when I'm driving, I brake past the 100, so I go just a tick past the 100, and it's the hardest braking I do on any course. and delay the turn in a long time and trail off, and you almost park the thing right at the 90 degree and then take off, and that's your best run through the corner. And it's just so different from most of the any of the other corners in iRacing, and I can't even call out why. I don't know why it behaves so differently, but it's a tough corner.
Well, little further back, the gobstopper car, Rusty Pondberg, has gone around. We saw him way back. You could see him in frame, but just further back, and that just looks like he's no contact there. We'll be able to get the car going again, and does not look like anybody's going to be any worse for the wear, which you always love to see.
And we've got a pretty thick front group yet, which is cool. I mean, those guys are running all the way back to, I think that's JR running at the tail of that. And then you've got a couple separated groups like we normally do. But this is a track that if I'm racing it, I'm okay following behind the rear of the lead group just because the chaos ahead. And you're going to have your patience hat on tonight. If you don't, you're going to end up in a pile. Kind of scanning cars through the field, and there's a lot of nose cones boogered.
Yeah. It's
Imagine that.
shocking.
Jeremy Grandin running third. He has been very quick here this week. I accidentally murdered him in turn 7 on the Wednesday night practice race, but he's been rolling pretty good as well. So that's good to see. We've got a typical the guy in Eric Lamoureux. He's hanging in there, and he's very patient, and I admire that about him. He picks his passes. He puts you in a bind. Fun to race with. And then Lauren Avery has just been on fire lately. He has found some lap time, and it's serious. I mean, the dude's getting very fast.
And speaking of Lauren Avery, he's going to be coming down pit road, our very first taker for a splash of fuel.
Yeah, and I like that strategy. I use it when I'm packed up, is try to go on the first or second open lap of your fuel window and get a little separation. It also takes, it's hard to concentrate that long. And I think those little mental breaks are good, so you can go cruise and just cut some nice, hard, clean laps and see how that shakes out when you join back up with the leaders as they make their pit. And there's something about it. It also mentally, you've done something to improve your race that isn't turning the wheel or hitting the pedals. And sometimes that's a big deal mentally to give you some confidence to press on.
Solid stop for Lauren Avery with about 42 seconds on pit road, which is very favorable from what we've seen. You can see Gurkin Demir there going 3 wide with Sean Trediak and Jack Moffitt, with Aaron Law just ahead of them. This whole pack right here, this entire battle for 11th position. These guys are 2 by 2 and then some.
Yeah, and that's fun. It's sometimes not super productive, but it's super fun. And I'm a big fan of racing hard. So the other thing to watch for tonight in turn 7, my other kind of problem corner, is you can be on the inside line there making a pass, and it puts the guy in a weird position on the outside. And I've seen some really silly contact in that corner, just because they think the outside guy thinks the inside guy is going to be able to cut him some slack, and it's difficult to do. So we can watch for that. I hope I'm wrong there, and 7's fun for everybody tonight. Moffitt's hitting the pit.
Decker, Lamoureux, Rebello, got Pim Luth. I mean, not quite a party, but certainly interesting. Jeremy Grand is going to be left in the lead with Bell and Dancy.
And the big thing for these guys, go ahead, Chaz.
I was looking where Avery came out. It looks like he's got himself a 2-second window to Hartley, so he's got some good clean air. Hopefully he can pump in some good laps and maybe make up a position or two in the leader's pit.
Yeah, and if you're Grandin and Bell and Dancy here, you want to behave really, really well here. You want to cut the best laps you guys can cut as a group because you're trying to jump these other guys. And we got another guy here back a little ways that we haven't talked about tonight, and it's weird to see him in this position, is Edwin's back there quite a ways tonight. So I want to see if he has any of his typical Edwin magic tricks, you know, pit stops and things like that, to bring him forward in the field. Because he's, I don't know what position he's in, but he's down there a ways tonight.
Yeah, I'm showing him 6 right now, but the starting position was 12th, I believe. I'm showing him up 6 spots, at least on my overlay here. So, yeah, to your point, just not a very typical starting position for him there, but I would never, ever count Edwin out of any race, to your point. A pit stop wizard, a master of speed, and if I were these guys, I'd have one eye on Edwin at all times.
Yeah, and that's why this, you know, when you can cut the big dogs out of the herd, right? If you can get them separated like Edwin, the front guys that are running in that separation, you want to do the best you can not to bring somebody else into the pack. So if you're racing 5 and you're fast, you don't want to bring Edwin or Aaron Law in there. So if they're really using their full brain here, they're going to do whatever they can do to maintain that gap. So you're only fighting with 5 guys. You don't want to all of a sudden at the end of the race be fighting with 8. You know what I mean?
Well, fighting by himself right now is Joshua Dancy, who's got a 31-second gap, having not pit yet. And yeah, we'll see. He's happy to stick it out and take it past 17 minutes here on the runtime.
There you go.
Coming into pit lane, all those guys, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's always fun when you see the timing tower just have a conniption fit of color and movement.
The camera, everyone looked like everyone was too wide coming into pit lane. I'm like, oh, this might get spicy.
Not that we've never had issues on pit road entry or anything.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm the master of messing something up. What's happened with Avery?
Goodness. I don't know. Where's
Timing tower
he was our
says
first taker, right?
he was. He shuffled back though, yeah.
he's running up
I'm
in P.
thinking. Sorry, Chaz.
Oh, I was running up in P8, so I mean it's not too bad.
Not terrible, but yeah. Oh, Scott Bell, I'm getting word here from Sarah that Scott Bell with a black flag. So that's gonna put maybe not an end, but certainly a wrinkle in the night for a great run.
It's heartbreaking. I've been on the bad end of that. But it looks like that Lauren's not alone because he's back there. Isn't that Eric, Justin, and Lauren? They were all running up front there, and it looks like they're grouped together. So I wonder if they got some pit road entry issues there and got that 40-second hold, because that kind of looks like the gap.
Yeah, it might be. Well, there's Dancy, who was the leader. You can see Lamoureux just passing him now. You saw Decker pass him a moment ago. He's going to shuffle in there into third, right in front of Carl and Jeremy and that whole train we were just talking about.
Yeah, I think I misspoke there. It looks like my thing cycled here, and those guys didn't have as bad a shakeout as it looked like, because Decker looks like he's done a job here.
I'll say. I pulled up, no, I didn't. I was going to. Let's pull up the pit lane time for everybody. You can see that Decker obviously with the fastest time now. I don't know that it accounts for a 3-second gap back to the likes of Eric Lamoureux, but he did do he did do it right for sure.
I don't know how you do this. I've got 4 screens going. I got your broadcast up here, and I still can't keep caught up. You can fire me at any time.
No, man. No, this is good. I like the first-hand experience because it's just so difficult to stay up to, pardon the expression, but up to speed with not only the car but the tracks and just the competition. And we were talking about it earlier. I think it was in the SF2 race. Just how we're to the point now where all these drivers all have different mentalities and personalities, and they really come out on the track. And we kind of see it, but it's always still good to have the guys who are out there actually running laps give their insight. So we certainly appreciate it.
Well, you may not by the time we're done, but thanks for that.
For the moment, we're good. And speaking of good, Jeffrey Decker, he's putting even more space in between himself and Eric Lamoureux, who in turn is trying to put a little bit of a gap between the third place car of Joshua Dancy et al. As you can see there, carrying a string all the way back to Adam Wright there in 10th position.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how the second pit cycle shakes this up. But it looks to me right now, Decker's out there, a long way out there. And if he keeps his ducks in a row, you never know.
Yeah, there does not seem to be any penalty for running solo. Well, if you got the speed of Decker, we'll just put it.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of these guys, with the temperature of this, I expect to see solo lap times dipping down into the middle-ish 50, 59,
big
or
wreck.
56s. Where are we at?
Brandon Johnson. I believe that's Lauren Avery.
Oh, good.
More
Yeah,
people
goodness.
involved.
Let's see what happened.
Look at the Cavoke replay here.
Ooh. Stewards aren't going to like that one.
No, they're gonna have some fun with that. Although, not a ton. Well, some bent wings, some stuff like that. But I don't think anybody's gonna be super happy with trying to catch back up after that. That's going to have a ultimate effect of creating just a bigger gap there at the front of the field. And not that anybody wants to see that, but guys who had to serve black flags either at the beginning of the race or now, or involved in early spins. That's just why you keep trucking. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, if they keep doing that, Decker's going to be able to read a book and make a sandwich.
Really, you look at this. Let's look at the last lap times here, and he's been able to do. Why is that not showing? Lap time history. There we go. Yeah.
With these temps, he should be dipping into the high 56s.
Last time by was a 156.88, and he's got a couple tenths per lap.
And by the end of his, right before his pit stop, he could possibly be in the high 55s.
If he gets to 55s, I'm not racing again. Just saying.
Momentarily 3 wide further back here with Rafa Bofill, Sean Trediak, JR Hoops. These guys still all just really going at it and putting on a good show, but hopefully they can car straight there. You can see Sean, his rear wings there a little bit. I think he was involved in that earlier incident. So.
Tell you what, there's another guy that's picked up some pace here as of late is JR. He's been cruising along pretty good. And there's the whole league. The guys are just getting faster, and all that does is put more pressure on other people to grow. And when you join up to a public race, it's not unusual to see the top half of the field finishing with mostly SNS guys. And it's really kind of neat that the whole community has been growing as a whole. The racecraft is getting better and their lap times are getting better.
To the chagrin of some, but certainly to the benefit of all, the parity that's come into play. And I say that now, but tell you what, if Decker keeps performing like this, we may stop calling him the underdog at some point. I mean, certainly
Yeah,
same with,
he's not an underdog anymore.
same with Lamro, same with Dancy. I mean, the old guard is still there, but yeah.
Yeah, he's gotten last 4 races. He's just been money. I mean,
Well, and look
really
at,
solid.
Adam Wright up 7 spots. He had a great run at Bathurst too. I think we led a lap at least, if not more, obviously. Led laps. And he's coming on strong.
You know, Adam is super versatile. If you look at all the cars that we did when we were running the charity events and everything, Adam was at the top of them all the time. I mean, he can jump in any car and be quick. He's got good racecraft. He's a nice guy. He uses his brain. You don't see him in a big pileups all the time and things like that. So yeah, he's a good dude, and he's running really well lately, and I like to see it.
Yeah, good to see that translate here to SNS as well. This is Jeff Torbeck. We haven't had a chance to talk about him in a hot minute, but he is up 17 spots right now, up to 15th, and leading a train of 5 drivers. Getting back to Steve Dewar there, and actually no, or Tolo. Oh no, okay. Who is that? Must be oh, that's Semi Bridges. How could I forget the pizza cart? Steve Dewar in 19th. This whole group in the battle for 15th spot.
Really unfortunate. Somebody else putting in a good race was Justin Rubella, and he's in the last corner there in the last sequence of corners. Let's see if this is what happened. Yep, you can get out on this the little red rumble strip that runs in the middle of 12 and 13. Somebody greased it, because if you hit it just right with your left rear wheel, it'll spin you out like a top, and that looks like what happened to Justin. You can jump over it. You can stay underneath it, but if you ride the top of it, you're with any wheel input at all, you're going for a ride. That's looks like what happened.
The wrong off track here. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, he just got a little sideways. He didn't totally spin, but he definitely lost some places.
I guess the good news for him there is that he's found some good company with that JR, Aaron Law, Beck Moffitt, Joshua Fitz-Johnson. I think some of these guys obviously involved in that early spin. To your point, he had worked. He was involved in that spin too, but clearly had worked his way up and formed a little bit of a gap. But all that erased there with that quasi spin, that drift, if you will.
Yeah, you hate when you're killing it and then you step in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, I don't know. I personally, I've never been there, but it's nothing worse for sure. And we've got a taker down road, maybe? Joshua Fitz-Johnson. He's gonna go down for his second stop as we are now past 28 minutes. So it seems early, maybe, but who knows?
Well, yeah, and that's one thing you got to pay attention. If you're using a fuel calculator or whatnot, you've been running in the draft for a while. I noticed that you could use as little as like 0.76 liters per lap. If you're out there on your own, like Decker, you can use as much as 0.83 liters. So there's a radical difference at most places, but really apparent here. And running in a draft and being conservative, because you can run a lot of these partial throttle down the straightaway, for example, and then lift and brake real easy into the hairpin, and you can save quite a bit of fuel and go fast.
Oh, we got more contact. Ooh, Trediac. That's Rafa Bofill. Oh man, that's going in. I believe that's another hairpin casualty there.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to be in the booth, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Looks like Sean came in hot, tried to scooch over, but not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he came in there. Yeah, he broke when he saw Jesus, I think, because he was way down in there.
I think that's a little late to be breaking.
Yeah. So something really odd that was happening in the Wednesday races, and a couple people said it, is they were messing up their corners. You know, mentally. They were, in fact, I was following Lauren, and you don't brake going into turn one. I mean, if you do, you kind of scare the brake pedal with your foot. And all of a sudden, he comes back at me flying, and he had messed up the corner. He thought he was on a different corner than turn one. So that kind of looks like what happened to Sean there. I'd like to see some clarity because that was going in there deep.
Well, we've got a bunch of the front group taking their second pit stop. I'm trying to catch up with all the comments here. We've got questions about Perez. I just saw him going to pit road, if you're talking about Brian Perez. So he's, well, fallen down a little bit there, obviously in 21st now. Edwin is still out there. He's currently sitting P2, but he has to stop once again. He's up 10 spots, though, so of course. Chris Herrera not racing tonight. Same with Pete Broughton. So those guys not in the mix this evening. And then Scott Bell saying not only did he get the black flag, but then some technical difficulties. So out of the race. And we hate to see that, man. That's a heck of a start. And that's just not the way you like to see it end. Obviously.
I was excited for him.
Obviously.
First races last week had best of intentions, and things didn't go to plan, and out I was.
Mm-hmm. It can all go to crap pretty quick.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours, etc., etc.
Yeah, my most hated saying is "that's racing," and they say that because it's better than full out whining. So that's
Right.
you say that's racing, right? If you don't do that, you're going to start whining and crying a river, and you'll be on Oprah someday, and you don't need that.
Got to be mentally prepared to just have a bad night, and it happens to everybody. Doesn't help that it's true, but it is. More takers to pit road here. Joshua Dancy and basically everybody else. So let's take a look here. This is Jeffrey Decker coming around pit road exit. What kind of jump is he gonna have on Joshua Dancy there? Coming up to speed. Looks like it's gonna be roughly what it was before. Dancy with a really great pit stop. So the front row on the grid finds themselves up front once again.
Look at Dronky. He was involved in an early incident. Has he pitted yet?
He has. Yeah, that's a what you'd call a legit third right there. He will be trying to track down Dancy and Decker, but is that Lamro? Let's see. Actually, I just want to look at this race here real quick. This is Aaron Law and JR Hoops. Somebody way up there locking up the brakes. Rebello and Amir also making their way through the hairpin. Yeah, this seems to be the passing zone of choice for sure.
Yeah, the hairpin's pretty ridiculous to try to defend in because you're just going to end up you can end up in trouble pretty easy.
track being so wide is you can definitely, I mean, if you telegraph your move well enough, you can get up the inside and, you know, make that move stick.
Yeah, in a lot of places you can hang on the outside, and that is not one of them.
Let's look at the movers and shakers for tonight there. Obviously, we mentioned Decker and Dancy on the front row. They'll remain there, but to your point, Carl's up 8 spots now. I think our biggest is Steve Dewar up 21 spots, but Andrew Cole's up 20. And Jeff Torbeck's up 19, so a lot of drivers with some real solid showings tonight. Obviously, Mike, you're down 1 spot. I don't understand.
Well, it's, yeah, I can screw up a poo sandwich, so yeah, I probably did that too. So.
Oh, well, that's 1 less for somebody else. You can count that as a win for them. But yeah, there you go. There's where everybody started versus where they are right now.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch through this field. Some guys have grouped in a little bit. You know, a guy I'm watching, and I keep rooting for him big time because he's just getting faster and he's always steady. He's fun to race with. Is Dewar. You know, you mentioned him, and he's up there running in a good position again. And you know, raw speed, yeah, you're not going to find him at the top. But guess what happens at the end of the race? He's there. And that's really cool, and I like that kind of persistence.
That's one thing I like about racing. You see the guys that just churn in the laps consistently. You know, they're not setting the track ablaze, but come the end of the race, they're there in a good spot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really successful racing careers by being fast but very steady, and it's been done. And you know, people focus so much on, you know, getting podiums, getting wins and things. And the little bit of real racing that I did do, when you were in a nice hard battle like you see, you know, Steve and those guys in right now, you're racing, and it doesn't matter if that's for first position or if you're at the tail end of the field. You're racing hard, and that's something you're going to get done at the end of the race. And you're going to talk about how hard you raced each other, you know, how you barely touched or barely missed, all those kind of things. And that's cool. That's what's so neat about racing, is if you'll get in a field of guys, or a group of guys that are a similar speed, you're going to have a ball, as long as nobody suffers any, you know, cranial rectitis or something like that. You're going to have fun.
And I think that's the problem with social media these days, is everyone focuses or hyper focuses on one part of racing, where, you know, you could have guys, well, you got guys in the back here, you know, battling back and forth. To me, in my opinion, that's fun. That's what I'm there to do. I'm there to race with someone and battle. If I get the win, that's great. If I don't, that's great too. What I don't like is sitting in the back by myself and hot lapping.
Yeah. It looks like we were talking about Dewar, maybe a little announcer's curse, but they had a little bit of a kerfuffle back there with the 2 guys that were in front. It looks like he came out fairly unhinged, but they did get in the knot.
This is a replay here of Spencer Clark. Spawn, ooh, yeah. So Steve barely missing that, and I wasn't sure. That's Jeff Torbeck who didn't miss that. And then a little further up, maybe James Flannery. Looks like he already had damage of some kind. I know he was all sorts of unstable. Just pulls off and calls it a night. Not sure what happened there, but Steve Dewar still up 22 spots. So then I don't know what happened, but it's like he was able to avoid the worst of it. Let let's take a look back up here at the lead real quick because I want to look at the lap times. I want to say that they're maintaining. I mean, 2.7 seconds wasn't that far off from what I think where Nancy pulled out from pit road. So I don't know. If I were Decker, I'd be a little nervous. I'd want to be pulling away at this point. Does not appear to be the case. That being said, and I don't know, let's see, pit lap. So Dancy pit 1 lap later, but his time in pit road was 3 seconds shorter. So that to me, I don't know, what's the fill rate on a Skippy? 3 seconds? How much less fuel he took for 1 lap of racing?
Again, though, if he was drafting earlier,
It's maybe all I needed.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It sounds a little suspect, yeah.
It just
So you look at the...
sticks out. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
it's gonna be a brilliant call though if it all works out. So hope it does.
yeah, he may be doing a Broughton, you know. Maybe he went to the Broughton school of fuel saving or something. But you know, you look at the lap times, and Carl has this ability that when he's in the draft, he can pull some crazy lap times, just like he could at Bathurst. Well, he's got a 56.4 on lap 7. I mean, that's quick. And I'm sure that's draft assisted, but it's still, he has the ability to do that. He'll get in a draft and utilizes it really well.
Yeah, I'm just looking through here. That seems to be the best by at least 0.2 from what I can tell.
So who's in a battle?
Gherkin Demir and Aaron Law for one. And actually this whole crew back here, JR Hoops, Justin Rebello.
Yep. You know, Justin's one of those guys that's really good to race with too. You know, he's not going to put you in a pinch, and he's going to be clean and fair. And you know, he hardly practices, and he is fast. Yeah, if he hits some practice time, he can get quick.
Thor Tolo making the pass there on Matt Shepka for 18th spot. He's up 12 spots total. Nice job tonight for Thor.
You know, we're not talking a lot about Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's going to watch his broadcast, and we're just going to tell you it's really boring with you out front there just cutting laps. I mean, running away.
It is very accurate, although look at that now, 2.4 seconds. So it could be getting interesting, although I'm looking at the time now, and we've got 2.5 minutes remaining. So I got to imagine they're going to come around for one more lap after this, and that'll be it. So Dancy running out of time to close that gap.
He's churning along pretty good, though.
Who gave Decker the keys to the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Josh was running some lap times. His last one was a 56.8. And I don't think Decker's there.
He's close.
Yeah, Decker's 56.9s.
He's closing the gap. It's just he's going to need a few more laps to get it done than we have remaining, I believe. But
I think you're right.
You just never know.
And with the pit stop time he has, I don't think he could afford a couple more laps, frankly.
Good point. Yeah,
But
no,
he's cruising.
This battle back here for 9th is just crazy. These guys are wheel to wheel, and I'm sure JR is just licking his chops, and Justin, both of them, just wait for these guys. But they are 4 cars under a blanket right now.
Yeah, there was a little wheel touch there.
What happened to Eric Lamoureux? And Edwin Viorino.
I heard Edwin say something on the radio. I'll go back and check that.
All right, well, let's see.
Into Sonoma for next week yet?
I like Sonoma.
That's going to be a fun track.
Eric blew up. Eric popped the engine, and I haven't seen that in a while. You know,
Interesting.
the internal combustion engine runs on smoke, and if you let it out, she doesn't run anymore.
Interesting.
Same with electric motors.
Well, we've got our white flag lap brought to you by nobody. This is Jeffrey Decker out front by 2.8 seconds now. So really, maybe just playing there with Dancy, but Dancy's in second. You can see Carl there trying to close the gap. He currently sits in third. Edwin Biarino a little further back with Adam Wright in fifth. So another great finish on tap for him. Joshua Fitz-Johnson and Aaron Law will lead this group of four that we've been focused on just because the racing's been so good. But let's not. Oh, looks like Thor Tullo and I believe Jack Moffitt were down pit road.
Looks like Moffitt went down pit road. Look at Andrew Cole. He's up there a ways. He's another guy with a little more practice time under his belt. He can get fast in a hurry. Very good technically.
Decker's going to lead the field around the last set of turns.
Kind of cruising the field, see if anybody's going to run out of fuel. I'm just really looking to not be the only one that does that all the time.
So far, so good. Looks like somebody's slow in the front stretch there as Decker comes across and does the F1 salute. They're taking the checkered flag. There's Dancy. I don't know who that is. Slow. Oops, Carl. Forgot Carl there. Sorry, Carl. There's Edwin Biarino in fourth. Adam Wright in fifth. Joshua Fitz-Johnson coming around the final turn in sixth. Maybe Nelson Addison. I was trying to catch a glimpse of the paint scheme there. But here's the real battle. Aaron Law, Gurkan Demir, 0.12 seconds, 0.11 second is going to be the final interval there between those guys. JR Hoops, Justin Rubello, Darren Chernick is out there leading Steve Dewar for 11th and 12th. Steve up 24 spots now with Eric Lamoureux blowing up. And here comes Ray Bartnikowski, Andrew Cole, Brian Perez, 13, 14, 15. Jack Moffitt is... Did he make that pass over to Shepka? 0.08. I think he may have come across the line. 0.08 ahead of Matt. Great pass there at the end. Oh, somebody. Oh, okay, no, maybe this is... Okay, we're past the start-finish line. I thought Rich Butler was maybe dodging people who had run out of fuel, but... Not the case. Thor Tullo up 6 or 7 spots there. Jeremy Grandin after a great initial run. I don't know what... Looks like he's throwing car parts everywhere.
Yeah, he's finishing underweight, I think. He's not going to make the scales because he's got half a Skippy, somewhere else.
Bring out the caution. All right. Well, we didn't catch everybody there at the end, but congratulations once again to Jeffrey Decker, your race winner here tonight. Joshua Dancy in second and Carl Dronke in third. Edwin Biarino and Adam Wright will make up your top 5, and the rest I will let you guys read. Well, what did you guys think of the race before we start pulling people in?
Well, I thought it was chaotic, like I expected it to be. To be honest, though, it raced a little better than I thought it would, and I shouldn't think that because the SNS group is always better to race with than any of the pubs. The track race is weird, and we got a little bit of that weirdness out of it. And what I'm really happy to see, though, is some of these names that are at the top of this field that you don't see all the time, and they're making progress in races. Dancy, he's cruising good. You see Carl finally finish where he should be finishing. That poor guy. I'm not much of a believer in luck, but if there is bad luck, Carl has some of it. But you go down the field, a pretty good race, and there was some parity in there, and I saw a little more patience tonight than I thought I was gonna see, and so I thought it was good. I thought it was cool. Crazy fast lap times tonight.
I think all the guys raced pretty safe tonight. Great battles throughout the field. Too bad we can't catch them all. We don't have enough TVs for that.
Yeah. Not on the payroll.
Nope.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah,
tough.
Chris has got his. You must have your head on a swivel on about 20 of these around to do what you do, because I can't keep up with anything.
It's always tough. Yeah, we always. It was a lot easier when there was only 20 guys out there, but you know, we do what we can. We do our best, and hopefully we catch at least everybody for a little bit, and in their epic pass or their crazy save and what have you. Let's bring in Joshua Fidge Johnson here, who joined us for the initial broadcast. Was doing some recon there, I believe, and was able to pull out a 6th place finish tonight, up 2 spots, is what I'm showing. How was the actual race? Did it play out like you expected?
Yeah, the racing was good. I forgot that was the interview booth. I was just talking to Jeffrey. I forgot. Happy to be here. Wow.
Whoops.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a race. It was kind of after the second pit stop. It was pretty boring. I didn't put enough fuel in. JRT was telling me I have to refuel for like another lap. So I don't think I hit full throttle for the second half of the lap. I was very, very much like in a fuel saving mentality. I had a big gap behind me, and I was like, all right, I'm just fuel saving. I don't care about coming 5th or anything. It was alright.
Well, I mean, it worked out, whatever you did, because yeah, walking away with 6th place is pretty good. It seemed like again, the hairpin was both the source of probably a lot of frustration, but also a lot of passes. And yeah, I don't know. It kind of played out.
It's just so scary coming up to it, because you know, like, you really don't want to hit the guy in front of you, but you really don't want the guy behind you to hit you. So it's tricky.
Right. Right. Yeah. You got one eye ahead of you, one eye on the rearview mirror.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Yeah.
you know I think that's my biggest weakness, is me punting people. I think I've punted almost half the the league now. So you know, that's what I'm trying to get better at. And I think if I didn't punt anyone, you know, I'm happy.
Well, you haven't hit me yet, so now I'm scared.
Oh, just you wait. It's
Just
coming.
Give it time. Give it time.
That'll be a big one. That'll be a classic.
Oh, goody.
Wait, what are you doing in here, Mike?
Huh?
You know,
Well,
did you not race today? I didn't even notice you.
No.
Didn't race.
I didn't race. I didn't get a lot of practice this week, and Jason left me with the admin rights, which I screwed that up. So I figured I better come in the booth, because I'm just probably not going to make it around here very well tonight. And it's fun. It's cool to watch it from a different perspective, and I haven't done it yet, so I had a good time.
No, nice. I'm looking forward to rewatching that one. I'll let you get onto to Decker, the winner.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
He's
just like don't bring him in. Just leave him in there as long as you can.
just let him sweat it out.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll pick him up next Thursday or something.
Yeah.
He'll be starving. Yeah.
Very
Alright,
good,
fellas, have a
man.
good week.
Congrats.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was our accidental interview of Joshua Fidge Johnson. I like that. I like the spontaneity that all entails. But yeah, the man of the hour here, Jeffrey Decker, just putting on a clinic, and what I assume was playing with Joshua Dancy at the end, because it seemed like you let him get a little bit closer. Was there a fuel strategy in there, or were you kind of sweating that out? I saw that gap coming down the last few laps until the very last lap.
No, Dancy had the consistent pace there. I knew I had like a fairly comfortable gap, so I wasn't trying to push every single corner, because I am prone to spin it when I do that. But no, he had, in terms of like comfortable race pace there at the end, he was definitely faster. So I think I just got pretty fortunate that I had the gap I did to work with in that last stint.
Well, yeah, that's I mean, we were kind of, from a showmanship standpoint, we were kind of hoping, but and obviously I'm sure he was too. Great race, kind of interesting.
I'm not that good.
Yeah, kind of interesting. From a
I would beg to differ. I think lately you've been that good.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike, because I'm always scared of you. So if you're saying that, it means a lot, buddy.
we were saying earlier, I think I was saying eventually we're gonna have to stop calling you an underdog, and Michael was like, "No, we're already there."
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know what happened this season, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm ready for it to all come crashing down. Honestly, this like I I lost a lot of confidence last week with my quality mess up. Even though I worked through the field, like it was definitely yeah, I don't know. This feels really nice to be able to get pole and then the race win after kind of messing up all on my own last week.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. Feels nice to get pole and get the win and lead the whole race. And you were reading a book, weren't you?
Hey man,
You're
hey
out
man.
reading the
Other
book.
people led laps. Other people led laps.
Yeah, when you pitted, you jerk. I mean, look what you did. You just stunk up the show by no. In all seriousness, you've been silly steady. You're not the underdog. You're one of the big dogs. So it's cool to see though, because you've always been steady, and now you've found this ridiculous pace that I don't like, and you're killing it. It's cool. Enjoy it. Take some credit. Have some fun with it.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, it does. It feels really nice. I'm really, really looking forward to like whenever Pete can race again. He's like always been the measuring stick in the league, and not having him around this season is like, is this real or is Pete just going to come back and wax us all again? So, yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, people have found some pace. I mean, there is no question that the group as a whole has gotten I know I've found some out of the blue, not quite Decker pace, but I've found a little, and I think it'll be interesting when, the group comes back together, and it will, and they come back together and we have the Herreras and everybody running again, because I don't think it's going to be the same guys every week. I think it's a nice competitive field at the top half, and well, all the way through, frankly. But I mean, the top half, I think, is going to shuffle a little bit, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think it's scary, man. Like if you just look at the names, like, and the championship standings don't really reflect it, and even like the race standings a lot of time don't. But honestly, like if you just look at the grid, there are 15 guys every week that you're just like any of them can pull it out and win it. And so it makes it really exciting to race in. And the fact that we keep it all clean week in and week out, yeah, it's just really nice. That's what makes the league so much fun.
Yeah, indeed. It's like the IndyCar field. Half or more of the field can win a race, and that's cool. And it's a pretty intimidating. And like you said, your confidence was shaken last week, so to come back and rebound, it's kind of, racing's a mental game. And if you get a little rattled, sometimes it's tough to get back.
Yeah, not gonna lie, man. I was sweating all week. I was like, I got to get it together here.
Well,
Yeah,
So,
that
yeah.
pressure really helps.
and I do apologize when you watch this back. I've just been showing Joshua Fitz Johnson, who instead of you, and so
That's okay.
I'm clear to all the viewers that this is Jeffrey Decker that we're talking to.
Yeah, that's okay, man. I'm a big fan of the fridge. So if you want to just like keep his highlight reel up,
Right? Yeah, there you go.
I accept that.
It's a very nice. People won't even know the difference. It's gonna be great. So yeah, I obviously curious to see how the season standings play out here after this. Obviously, it's gonna go well for you, but with drop weeks and all that, it's always kind of the math is kind of funny. That being said, we've got 2 races left, Sonoma and Long Beach. And Long Beach is always kind of a fun one, right? I don't think you can ever put your eggs all in that basket. So, Sonoma to me, not to put the pressure on you there, but I feel like the pressure's on for you at Sonoma to really go out there and execute. What's your plan going into this week? You looking forward to Sonoma? Is this do you agree, or do you feeling good about Long Beach as well?
Yeah, no, I love Sonoma. It's my home track, so I've driven it a lot in person, but never this configuration. So actually, it's cutting out some of like my favorite corners. So we'll see, but I think it's exciting. Yeah, I think the goal for me there is to just go out and try to do what I did this week and not last week. Not necessarily lead a bunch of laps and get pole, but like be at the front, execute a good race, and kind of get the most out of what I can with my pace. So, yeah, and then actually Long Beach is the one I'm really looking forward to though, because last season I was in a really tight battle for P2, and the last lap we just had an issue with traffic that took us both out. So I was on for a podium there, and ended up with nothing. And so I am very much looking for redemption in Long Beach, and hoping to get a good result there. But I love the street circuits. I really miss Belle Isle, so
Yes.
I'm actually a little bit more excited for Long Beach.
Very
So
good.
Jeffrey, for
Oh yeah, go ahead.
sorry. For some of the other guys that are in the league that especially newcomers, I know I have a certain strategy that I use every week in order to get up to speed. You know, unless you're keeping these as super secret things, how do you approach your week?
My main approach, honestly, is to this week was a little bit different because it was a new track. So actually, on Sunday night, Scott Bell hosted a practice, and I saw that, and I was just like, "All right, well, let me do some laps." And then he was so quick that I just did laps until it shut down, and it was way too late at night because I could barely match his time. So that motivated me a little bit. But honestly, that was enough practice. Like I like to just dive into pubs, to dive into races, because I think it's great if you can find hot lap pace, but it's really hard to know how that stacks up when you actually start having to race around other cars. And so I like to just try to do pubs as much as possible and hope that I'm getting in as much like wheel to wheel battles as I can, to try to understand how the track races and maybe where in general I feel faster than other folks. So I know like with Dancy, I felt like every single lap, sector 1, sector 2, he would gain a tenth or two on me there. And then I could kind of pull it back on the second half, basically from the hairpin or Mercedes corner onward, I could kind of claw some of that back. And so that's something I actually found out kind of early on in the pubs, is that just seemed to match up with the fast guys who were in every split. That for whatever reason, that's just kind of how I fell into place. So that helped me kind of, yeah, just figure out strategy and stuff like that. But I think there's no substitute for racing. Hot lapping is great to get up to speed and to kind of just get to know the track. But yeah, the racing is really where I think you learn everything.
Okay, well, I took some notes. I'm not wildly different, but I agree with you. What's that, Chaz?
I was gonna say I'm a second what Jeffrey says. You know, good couple hours of learning the track, and then it gets. I mean, you know the track, then you need to figure out how it races, where your passing zones are, and like Sonoma next week with that layout, I think it's gonna be tough to pass. There's not a lot of good heavy braking zones. It's to me, it's a roller coaster, fast, flowy. You know, you're gonna have to get a run on someone.
I think the big difference with the cup layout is that like you cut out the now I can't think of the name, the carousel. And so I think you actually get a decent breaking point down to the right hander that like is squared off. So maybe like one passing zone, but you're 100% right. Is like there aren't many places to pass at Sonoma. Even in real life, it's a tough track to pass at. And for the skippies, I think like you kind of need a little bit of draft at places if it's not a really tight circuit, and it's not a super tight circuit, but it's also not a circuit where there's a ton of draft to use. So it makes for an interesting combo.
Next week's running the carousel or not? Because I
don't think it is. Yeah, I think it's the cup layout, so it cuts out the carousel. But I hope I'm wrong because I love the carousel.
Because me and I forgot his name now. We were running the carousel layout last night, and that's why I said I don't see a lot of passing zones being, you know, fast and flowy.
Yeah. So we ran that last season. That was definitely the case. But if I'm right about the layout, hopefully we get a nice braking zone down into what I think will be turn 4 effectively.
Very good. All right. Well, hey, we got to let you go. We've actually got some more takers to the interview booth here. And
oh, yeah. Don't want to hold up everybody.
Yeah. No, but we really appreciate you taking the time to come in and chat with us. The perspective is amazing and awesome. And of course, we love talking to you. A little embarrassed that I forgot that you did real life racing there, because I've seen it on Twitch and all that stuff. So, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do at Sonoma next week. And, you know, keep fingers crossed you get a good, you know, end to the season here, and we get a new champion.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Just want to give a shout out to my wife and my in-laws. They're actually in town, but they still let me do this race. So
Nice.
big thanks to them for letting me hollow out the time. But yeah, definitely time to get to them and hang out. It's been nice to see family for the first time in a very long time.
Say hi for us.
Will do, man. Cheers. And thank you guys so much again for the broadcast, as always.
Will do.
Good job,
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Later, guys.
Jeffrey Decker, your winner. Let's see. Let's bring, Rich Butler, man. We haven't talked to Rich Butler in what feels like forever. But Rich I was just looking up here, a solid night. But did both races. You did, started 8th, went to 7th in the Skippy Formula 2 race, and you finished 18th overall, which is up 11 spots in the Formula 1 race. So I got to be feeling pretty good about Hockenheim ring.
Yeah. So that 1-8 is probably the highest position I have ever got. So I figured I'd jump in here and brag it up a little bit. But I still got beat. Don't get me wrong. But for me, that's a fantastic night.
No, man. I mean, we actually, when you watch it back, I think we even noted just how much consistently better you're getting through the weeks, and we're actually very much noticing. So don't sell yourself short there. That's
Right.
Yeah. You're catching people's eyes at the moment, which, maybe it's better to just stay under the radar for a little bit longer until you really start coming on. But yeah, that was it was a lot of fun watching you mix it up there tonight. Awesome that was, I didn't realize that was your best finish, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
And lots of shout out. I think everybody helped me out this week. Everybody that I was in a session with this week is like, hey, do this, don't do this, do this, do that. And it ended up good. And I just wanted to jump in here real quick and say thanks for doing all this, and had a good night. It's fun. It's a good league.
Awesome. Well, are you Sonoma? Different layout. We actually just were just going over that stuff. Momentum going into Sonoma. How do you feel about that?
I have to get on the track first.
Okay. All right. Fair
We'll have
enough.
to see what the vibe is that night, and then we'll go from there.
What was do you remember what your Sonoma was last time?
I have no idea. I may not even have done it last time.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not ringing a bell. So.
I was trying to.
Oh
pull
yeah,
it up.
no, I didn't. I didn't do it. You're right.
Okay, I wasn't trying to
That's
put you on
the
the spot there.
California
I
race,
just
right?
was embarrassed. I was trying to pull up all that stuff real quick. Stall
No,
for time.
no. I wasn't. That was my drop week last time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I mean, shoot, man, that was a great night for you. I was trying to. You were battling there for. I apologize. You got to understand. Like from our perspective, things happen real quick with a lot of people. Were looking all around, but I feel like you were racing real close to somebody for quite a while. Maybe I'm
It was
just making
around
that up.
Ray and I believe Matthew.
Okay.
I'm gonna destroy his last name. Is it
Chepka.
Zepka? Shepka.
Yeah.
So yeah. So they pulled me around for quite a while, and I wanted to get in the mix, and Matthew let me in front, and then he went right to the pit. So yeah, I think that was strategic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming out, and congratulations on a hell of a night, and hopefully you can carry that on to Sonoma with you.
Okay. All right, man.
Yeah,
I'll talk
keep
to you later.
swinging, Rich.
Oh, I
Keep
am.
swinging.
I'll be up there. I'll be up
Yeah,
there.
you're doing it. You're gaining ground, and I love it. You're one of the league's favorite guys, so keep swinging.
All right. I appreciate it. All right. You guys have a good night.
Take care.
Love Rich.
Indeed, league's favorite. Well put. I like that. And
He's a great guy. I mean, he's just
Right.
a good guy.
oh yeah, absolutely, and a great paint scheme, which has nothing to do with. Oh, Mike's gone. There he is.
I fired myself for a second.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, you demoted yourself. Interesting decision. Let's bring in Andrew Cole here, who also had actually a fantastic night. Wasn't in the Formula 2 race, I don't think, but up 24 24 spots, which I believe no, Steve Dewar was also up 24, so tied for
Oh!
biggest gainer. And that was only, I think that only happened at the end too, if I'm not mistaken. So that's
Ah.
still
So I,
Driving angry.
Hard
Driving angry.
charger.
That's all it is.
And
Driving
I could be
angry.
wrong. That's just what my overlay says. So we'll withhold. We'll
Yeah,
withhold final
it was
judgment.
like 24 spots because I to add insult to injury, I didn't get a qualifying lap in because I got off tracks, which I didn't even know you could get in some places. And to add insult to injury, I qualified behind Mike.
wow, and that's
say-
something, buddy.
I'm not gonna say we didn't notice that, but
But otherwise, it was a good race. And somebody put in the Discord chat, was like, how did you guys get, we were in a dogfight with Ray and Brian at the end, which was the best racing I've ever done. It was a blast. And it just says so much about this league. Somebody said, how did you guys manage to not kill each other? And I just wrote the league mentality and just left it at that.
Excellent. There you go. So did you get the hairpin figured out, Andrew?
I finally got it. I mean, I did my best lap ever, and it was without a draft. So I was pretty happy. And if anything, this week I finally figured out the way Gwindy does his braking, the slam on the brakes and come off and rotate the car. I was like, I was getting it at the end. So I
Well,
call this victory.
there's another level.
Week of victory.
Well, good.
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting to another level when you can get Gindy-ish.
Exactly. It was like, getting the rotation all and on the throttle before the apex. That's when you're in Gindy territory.
Well, I see, and that's what's interesting. What you're saying is kind of what we're seeing throughout the league right now. Is you have people that are getting faster,
Yeah.
and faster,
Yeah.
and what they're doing is they're starting to pick up on these little nuances.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Guys like me who
then-
for years have been just running around doing laps and never really thinking about it. At least in my case, never really thinking about it. In the past year, I've really thought about what I'm doing. And thanks to folks like you, Mike, really thinking and really concentrating on it, and it pays off. And I think it does for everybody.
Well, it does, and sometimes you've got to have somebody help you check your approach. And I mentioned in the broadcast, Andrew is really, really good technical racer, and the more practice he gets, the faster he gets. And he'll be like the others. He's going to be in the top half of the field more consistently.
And and this week was a week in the pubs, but I took away a lot from the public races this week, and I came into this afternoon going like, I'm going to hate this track, and it just makes such a difference when you've got other people who are looking out for each other and realize it's a long race, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and it's kind of different, and I kind of wish people in the sim world would adopt what people do in real life. So when you're racing with somebody, you see their wives in the pits and things like that, and it changes how you race them because they're not just a car anymore, they're a person. And I think if people in the sim world would kind of try to adopt that a little bit,
Yeah.
it'll change and make the racing much better.
I agree. People not going for the best lap every lap, just kind of thinking it through and realizing that I'll have another chance if I keep cool and stick to the fundamentals.
Yeah, and if you can mentally put yourself in the position that if I wreck that guy, I could hurt him, it does change how you race. And even though you still got to go for it in real racing and things like that, a little bit of that, if you want to make it a simulation, well, simulate the whole thing. Simulate their wife and their kids and things like that. Then you're in a simulation, and then you're going to fully adopt league mentality.
I don't think that's going to sell, Mike.
I know.
just don't
I'm
think that's
trying.
gonna
I'm
sell
trying.
games. So-
It's my best mushy stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I've got.
Exactly.
Personally, I think this is about as close as we're gonna get to it. Cause,
Probably.
yeah. You're not gonna get in public races for sure.
No,
but yes,
never.
in this league, I do think this is about as good as you're gonna get.
I mean, I'm making a joke, but I agree with you, Mike. And I think it's one of those things where it's like when you see the same people week in and week out, you begin to build a responsibility for them and yourself, and it just shows in the quality of the racing in this league.
So that's what I was thinking. You can just articulate your thoughts. I can't. Exactly.
Well, it's Sunday afternoon, and
For you,
for me, oh yeah, I forget. Sunday afternoon. Still
Somewhere.
in the middle of the day. Yes, exactly. Well, I just wanted to pop in and say thanks to y'all, and look forward to next week, I guess. We'll see.
Indeed.
you did.
Indeed. I think you're
You
going to do
did
awesome.
great.
All right. Thanks.
There's Andrew.
There's
Oh,
another one. Another
Yeah.
one of the really nice guys. Good guy.
Exactly. Another really nice guy, Joshua Dancy, second place overall, started second on the front row, and just didn't quite have enough to catch up to Decker there at the end. But either way, really great. Hopefully your wife was able to watch too. But yeah, talk us through what you saw in the race tonight.
Yeah, it's another case of Decker has pace.
Right?
Yeah, it's every time I feel like I have pace at a track, he's just that little bit better. It's always impressive. It's always impressive.
Yeah, it's got to be
See, now
frustrating.
I got to disagree.
Oh, really?
I think you had the best pace coming to the end. You definitely ran the best clean air laps.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was relative watching, so it seemed I would catch him by a couple tenths, and then I'd mess up a corner maybe or something, lose the tenths, a couple tenths there, because it did seem like I might be able to gain on him there near the end, but he's just so consistent.
Yeah, that does something. But again, you're the guy chasing, so you got to take the chances and drive really hard. But I was really impressed with how fast you were.
Yeah, the worst part is, so I'd actually saved enough fuel that I should have came out like either right in front of him or right behind, and I took my math messed up on the last pit stop, and I took 0.2 too much. So I should have come out a little bit closer and maybe had a better chance at it, but it seems like that's happened a couple times for me. I actually ended the race with like 0.3 or 0.4 fuel left. So
It's actually pretty impressive because you had by a pretty good margin already the fastest pit stop. So I'd have loved to see you eke out another couple tenths on there and what you could have done with that. That's crazy.
Yeah, Chris being astute picked up on that, and we were kind of wondering if you were going to be the short fuel guy tonight. So that's pretty impressive that you had that much left.
The first couple laps I saved a lot. Like I think I had, even when I came to pit the lap after everyone else, I still had almost enough to do another lap. And then at the second pit stop, I think I went another 2 or 3 laps farther than everybody else. So, or I could have. I don't think I did, but I very much could have. It's my strategy as soon as we started was basically just try to save as much as possible, and just stay where I was at. And then it almost worked. Almost.
Yeah. So you've gotten faster lately. So what's going on? What are you eating for breakfast? What kind of workout thing? I need to know because I need some help.
I wish I knew. I really did. Like this track, I actually like iRacing messed up this week, or my Steam account messed up, and I didn't even get to play iRacing for a couple of days because it had not charged my account, so I didn't have an account from like Monday to like Wednesday, and didn't even get to like do a lap really till probably Friday, maybe Wednesday. I didn't do a lot. It was not a lot. I was not expecting to be anywhere near where I was today.
Well, man, if you would have practiced, because you were fast.
Don't tell me that.
I mean, impressive. So, oh yeah, you're gonna get beat on for that one. You shouldn't admit that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already gonna beat myself up about that one. But yeah, I mean, it's something about GP tracks. I feel like it's something, maybe the wider tracks. I'm not sure, but I feel like every podium I've had so far was a GP track. Was like a wider surface and everything.
All right, so the committee for more GP tracks.
Yeah,
there you go.
I know what to vote on next
this
season.
Track. Yeah, I noticed this track, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, that you didn't have to be absolutely perfect online in every corner. There were some different ways to take these corners and still be fast, and I think that played to some people's strengths.
Yeah, very much so. There's quite a few corners here that maybe the hairpin a little bit, but then that big left-hander after the hairpin. There's multiple ways to take that. There's multiple ways to take the last couple corners. There's actually, so there was multiple corners where you didn't have to be perfect. Now, if you were by yourself, there's really only a couple ways. But in traffic, you can definitely make some moves in corners that you maybe not, weren't expecting maybe.
Well, I just
Well,
gotta
and you
say,
did it well.
congratulations, man. Yeah, that was it's a heck of a race, and I mean, anytime you can bring home second place, obviously you want the win, but second place here in SNS, it's everything that we've been saying, man. It's getting tougher and tougher. So enjoy it. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Do it, and I want to watch, like, if you're the type that doesn't wash their underwear, don't worry about that anymore. Like, whatever you got to do, keep this magic. Or get yourself some SNS boxer briefs off the Cabo store.
Yeah.
And,
Did you see how he did that? Did you see how he
that
did
was a
that?
plug. I saw that.
But yeah, man, no, it's awesome seeing you doing so well, and of course we always root for you here. We don't root for anybody in particular, but we root for you, and keep it up. We will see you in Sonoma next week. Hopefully Steam doesn't prevent you from practicing too much, but sometimes we were talking about this too. There is something weird about over practicing, if that's a thing.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. There's a bunch of guys that I feel like, if you practice, it's almost to practice the wrong thing too many times, you're not going to be able to unlearn it. And if you just kind of come in, maybe Sunday, a couple hours before the race, throw a couple laps down, sometimes you can be better, especially if a track just clicks.
It's super weird, but that is how I basically roll in my leagues. And I don't know if it's a mix of an increased familiarity with the tracks, to your point, like, okay, this is all coming back to me. I got to, adjust for the new tire model that they released or whatever. But, the braking zones, all that. And you can almost get into your own head if you do it too much. And yeah, that's whatever. But you keep doing what you got to do. I don't. Maybe the whole not practicing for the first few days might be the way to go. But that's for you to figure out. Hopefully, the results keep coming for you.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great night. Thank you very much for the broadcast and everything you guys do.
Good job, Joshua.
All right. That was Joshua Dancy, and he finished second tonight. Well, gents, I'll tell you what. While everybody was talking, I was enjoying myself some wine called the Atom. It's from California, and it's pretty dang good. And I think I'm going to use that as my nightcap to go to bed. But I first want to get your guys' thoughts on what you saw tonight, Chaz. Hockenheim ring. You got to race in the SF2 race. Did that play out like you wanted it, or not you wanted to, like you expected it to? And then follow-up question, going into Sonoma, what are your expectations there?
Hockenheim ring. The week in the pub races started off good for me, and honestly, it was downhill from there. So put that behind me. I feel really good going into Sonoma. Little more practice to get turns 1 and 3, because those are both uphill right-handers that fall off, and you can definitely go off track really easily, kind of like Mid-Ohio. So once I get those down, I think you'll be surprised next week.
I am a lot of things, but it's hard to be. I don't know. I'm not surprised by how surprised I usually am. I think that's a good way to put it. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe there's probably a more eloquent way of saying that, but yeah. So, and Mike, are you going to be rejoining the grid next week, or are you You enjoyed the broadcast just so much that you want to come back and do it out again.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like Sonoma, so I'd probably race Sonoma. I did enjoy the broadcast. I tried to be
Mm.
mushy, and I shouldn't do that kind of stuff. That's just not
Mm.
me.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it suits you.
Oh yeah. I'm soft and cuddly, but no, I'd like to do some just kind of like what I've done this season is bounce around, do the broadcast, run the races. I'm trying not to take myself too seriously lately because I was getting a little too caught up in trying to win races and stuff like that, and just have fun with the league outside of just the racing.
Mm.
And the league's good enough to do that.
I meant to ask, how did the F1 watch party go this morning? I was unfortunately unable to attend. You guys know?
I don't know. We were doing real car stuff all weekend. We were helping a
Interesting.
friend of ours drag race and doing some autocross stuff, and
I
I
so
didn't know there. I didn't know there was a watch party. I woke up halfway through the race, freaking out like I missed the F1 race, and I think that was a lot of people.
Well, you missed probably the most important part. I guess we won't do spoilers in case anybody hasn't seen it or avoids any sort of news and or social media, which would be odd. But
I was gonna say, I think by this time of night, if people don't know what happened
it's on them.
for the F1 race, that's on them.
yeah. It's
But
kind of like
yeah, I'm
this.
pretty.
I think I think I know where you're going with that, and let's just say that sucks.
Well, I think we put on a better product tonight than Formula One. Fight me. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I heard they used a different. I think they used the Monaco people or Monaco broadcast.
Yeah.
And
it was that one. It was that one hard cut where even the commentators were like, "I guess we don't want to watch that." Okay.
Yeah. When Vettel was coming out of the pits.
That was
Here's the best. Yeah, here's the best part of the race. Never mind.
And there's Lance Stroll. Why? What do we care?
Yeah. My thing is everyone's been harping on Vettel. Oh, he's not having a good season. No, he's not having a good season. He has a good race. He looks settled, and you cut away.
Well, better luck to everybody, let's say, next week. But yeah, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I don't mean to be dragging this out because it is bedtime, and I'm probably going to be up in about 2 hours rocking a baby. So,
yeah, man, get your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, we need it. Thank you very much, Chaz, Mike, joining us in the booth tonight. I really appreciate the insight and the expertise, the experience, and letting me just kind of take a break watching the cars and doing all that for a little bit. I can't tell you how much that takes off my shoulders. So many thanks for that. And we will, my personal thoughts, fantastic race. I think both the Skippy Formula 2 race, if you didn't watch that, go back and watch that. There's some great battles going on that you won't be disappointed. But the Formula 1 race did not disappoint either. And Sonoma with the Cup, I think that last season's configuration,
I went back and checked on iRacing. It is the most recent Cup layout, so it does have the carousel.
Okay. So we'll see what that produces, but yeah, I like Sonoma, and I really like Long Beach. I know that was the season finale last season, if I'm not mistaken, and there was a lot of broken hearts. We'll just put it that way. That might not be the right way to put it, but there's a lot of disappointment. It's a very difficult road, skinny course, but I'll tell you what, it's a broadcaster's dream. So hopefully everybody out there can join us for all that exciting action as we finish out the 6th season of SNS and look forward to what's coming up next season. But guess what? We've got 2 more races yet, and there's plenty of action to come. Hopefully the standings will be updated here shortly, and I can have some time to actually bring that up in graphics like I used to do. I do apologize. Kind of. It's one of those sorry, not sorry things. I've just been super busy, but I want to be able to bring that stuff up for all the viewers out there so that they get more of a greater context of what each battle means as we go into these final 2 races of the season. Because I'll tell you what, it's impressive how tightly packed some of these points battles are, and I think it just adds a little more to the story of the race. So see what we can do about that. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. Be safe. We will see you here, same bad time, same bad channel, next Sunday.
Awesome. Good night, guys. Chris, you're a hero.
Y'all have a good night. Thanks, Chris.
Take care, guys.
See you, Jazz.
And bye.